Hello, lovelies. Welcome to another exciting episode of I Got My Miracle, where we interview a guest who has been through the whole program, and they basically come here to talk about their miracles and the experience they've had, and they love to share it with you all, as do I. My name is Candice Marie Fox, and I done the last live feed, and I just absolutely loved it. And so Jerry's asked me to cover him again. And if you haven't read the book Shit the Moon Said, I highly recommend it. It's just such an epic read and explains more about what we do here and more about Jerry's journeys to the moon. So it's also in audio, and it's on Amazon, I believe. So back to today. So we're going to be interviewing a beautiful guest and talking about Rythmia. And if you haven't been to Rythmia yet, it's a beautiful life advancement center here in Costa Rica, and it infuses ancient wisdom and modern technologies to help you heal. So on that note, I'll tell you a bit about my healing journey. I was diagnosed with cancer at 28, and I knew instantly that I wanted to heal it naturally. I thought, if we can heal a broken bone with the right tools, and we can, females can produce babies if given the right tools, and I just trusted in the healing power of nature. But as it happened, I got scared into surgery and radiation, and these treatments for me personally didn't work. They spread the cancer to my right lung, more cancer down the lymph nodes in my chest, tumors in my liver were benign, but nevertheless they weren't there before. And so I just realized that I needed to take hold of my own path, and I turned down every other treatment that they offered me, more surgery, cut down here, shave off a bit of my lung, radiate me, chemo. I just thought, no, I'm going to do it my way, like I wanted to. But the only problem is that I was always living, because I took the radiation treatment in the first place, I was living with a 70% chance of leukemia, blood cancer, and all sorts of other health issues that stem from these treatments. And so this is one of the main reasons I love doing what I do and being in this plant medicine world, because I know that I am healing myself on a weekly basis with the power of nature. And I get so many people come through here that are going through similar things. And like last week, there was a lady who coughed up, purged up a breast lump. And we have so many incredible, powerful, inspiring stories like that, and we see them with our own eyes. And so I know I'm in the right place to keep any future cancers at bay, as well as good nutrition, meditation, thinking happy thoughts, all these different healing modalities that we can utilize to keep ourselves back at equilibrium. We're just, most of us, in a toxic state, and the body just wants to get that out. And when you drink the plant medicine, you're so high vibration that all low vibrations leave through one of your holes. It's coming out. Even, tears and just yawning, lots of different ways to purge out any dark energy that's just not serving you. So if you have yet to come to Rythmia, it's a magical place. We do breath work, plant medicine. We have all different talks to help you integrate all these different medicines and different tools to use to get you back to where you're meant to be. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce today's guest. It's Marsha Monaco from Colorado. Come in, baby.
Hi.
Hey, baby.
Oh.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, babe, anytime. So I just want to start by asking you how you found out about the magical world of plant medicine and how that word ayahuasca crept into your everyday life and brought you to this point now.
Yeah, so actually I didn't think that I was going to do plant medicine when I came here.
A lot of people do that, yeah.
Yeah, I had actually come here for Michael Beckwith.
Oh.
And I saw that he had a plant medicine retreat center, and I have a background as an herbalist.
Oh.
And so I was like, oh, plant medicine. I know that. I love plant medicine. What kind of plant medicine do you do? And then,
like a tincture.
Yeah. And they're like, ayahuasca. And I was like, oh, that kind of plant medicine. Oh, all right. So at the time, I was really deep into my meditation practice. I was meditating for about an hour a day. I wasn't drinking. I was keeping a very pure mind and body. And so I didn't see the point. I'm like, I did the tripping thing in college, And like I had that fun, but I feel that I'm on this different spiritual path. And when I got here, I quickly saw that I had no idea what this actually was, and any of the preconceived notions that I had about ayahuasca being a trip were just so far from the truth. And really what this is a way back home, a way to your heart. And when I started talking to the people here, I talked to Dr. Jeff, with Jerry, with some of the staff members, it became very comfortable that this was an experience that I wanted to have and to be. So I actually like told a bunch of friends, I'm like, I'm not doing ayahuasca. Like, I'm just gonna go there just to have a retreat. And then I very promptly called them and was like, I'm doing ayahuasca. This is happening.
That's what usually happens. People come and they have no idea what it is, and then once they hear Jerry's about your miracle, they speak to the medical staff. It soon changes because it's just such a safe environment to do these kind of things, and people then remove themselves from the conditioned state that it's a drug and it's dangerous and I could die. All of that is just removed, and it just gets down to the truth of what it actually is without other people's beliefs being pushed upon you.
Exactly. And I think it also speaks to Rythmia that it attracts so many different people regardless of the plant medicine or not. And Rythmia is so healing just in the essence of this place and the nature and the resort and the food and the yoga and the breath work, that you could come here and have a miracle and not even do the plant medicine. So I think both are really...
and the breath work alone is so powerful. We have people who sometimes don't get it in the plant medicine, but then they get it in the breath work. It's like we're all so different, and we all have different ways of tapping into that. And it's so profound that there are so many different modalities here that enables you to get what you've come for.
Right.
So you've been here before, though, right?
Yes. So this is my third time here now.
She's a veteran.
I'm a vet. Yeah. This is my home away from home. And so I was here in July. It was my first time, and I just quit my corporate job. So I was just in the space of I wanted to have a vacation. I just wanted to, like go do some spiritual work, meet Michael Beckwith, since I followed him as a teacher. And then I was here in October with my partner, David, and that was a beautiful experience I'll share with my partner. And then now, so it's been pretty awesome. And so in the first time that I was here, it was about me, and it was about my own unraveling. And it's one of the biggest awarenesses. So at Rythmia, you have the three different intentions that you bring to the medicine of show me who I've become, merge me back with my soul at all costs, and so with the first intention of show me who I've become, the medicine showed me as like this beautiful queen,
which you are.
Oh. Thank you. I didn't see it though.
Right.
And I was very, very suppressed in my job and spiritually, emotionally, and I wasn't on my path. I wasn't living my life. I was living someone else's story.
Yes.
And so I had this very strong story when I came here that I'm not enough. So when the medicine showed me as this beautiful queen, and like Ganesh and all of these beautiful people and animals are bowing down to me, I'm like, that can't be me. That can't be me. It's not me. And it just got bigger and bigger and more expansive. And I finally was like, well, I guess it has to be me. I guess I have to be a queen. And instantly, the second that I accepted that, the medicine responded with, you've lived enough of your life in the darkness, and I'm here to show you your light.
She shows us in such beautiful ways, doesn't she?
Yes.
Oh, that's so magnificent. So are you owning that queenness in you?
I'm owning it.
You are a queen. It's so beautiful that she showed you that.
Yes.
Because sometimes we're so blocked and we just don't believe. We don't believe what other people say. We're like, oh, if someone say you're beautiful, you're like, oh yeah, all right, whatever. Right. But you have to really go through that and like really feel it yourself for it to
embody it. Yes. And since then, I have met the love of my life.
Oh.
Yes. And he came here with me, which was amazing. So I met him like 3 weeks after Rythmia.
So when you started loving yourself, your vibration started attracting true love.
Yeah.
Oh, girlfriend.
I know.
I'm so happy for
so
you.
Good. It's so good.
That's why you're beaming.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I know. It's like, it's so amazing. You know that your life is good when you're just as equally excited about going home as you are to be in Costa Rica.
Yeah, you know you got a good one.
You got a good one. So him, and then also my business. So I'm a brand strategist, and I help soul-based businesses tell their story through messaging and content, connecting with their ideal customer, to really empower these light workers and light warriors to go out in the world and to share their gifts. And my business has been booming.
Oh, so it's all happening.
Yes.
It is literally a shift. When you shift like the vibration within you and the frequency that you're resonating out, everything else around, it's like, you are as equal to the 5 people you hang with. So as soon as your frequency starts changing, everything low vibration, like toxic people, toxic anything, starts to disintegrate, and then more abundance and more of the right frequency come to match you, which is like, you're like a walking testimony for it.
It is. I love it. I love it. I love all the happy dance, the happy Rythmia dance, the shake, the whole thing.
Oh my God, you're so amazing.
So yeah, totally profoundly changed my life, but probably the biggest change and takeaway, my souvenir from Rythmia, actually wasn't my story, it was my sister's.
Okay.
And so, I really resonate with what you said about your story with cancer, and my heart goes out to you. My sister was 25. This was just last year, and she was diagnosed with a rare bone cancer. And there were over 50 doctors on her case. It was so rare that they didn't even have words to, they didn't even have a
diagnosis.
Yeah, they had words to describe the osteosarcoma. So it was dedifferentiated giant cell osteosarcoma, and they didn't know exactly how to treat it. They were trying chemo and doing like all these different things. It wasn't looking good. So I came here, and in one of my last nights in ceremony, I saw her, and it was like almost like she was coming through a ocean, like coming through this water, almost like a rebirth.
Wow.
And I just heard, you're healed, like she's healed.
Oh my gosh.
And I, like you hear and see a lot of things on the medicine.
Yeah.
And so I took that as she's healed, but you just never know. So I go home, and 2 weeks later, she goes to the doctor for her checkup, and they did a scan, and the cancer was gone.
Like gone.
Like gone. Like the cancer was gone, miraculously gone.
And what did they say anything? I know from my experience, probably not. But,
no,
right.
They of course not. And I also think that it was all of the prayers that were being said for her, and literally
it's vibration, it's frequency.
Yes.
But also when we're doing this work with the medicine, we're not just healing ourselves. It's our DNA, our past ancestors, our future children, and like our circle around us. So we are all connected. So it's like if you're sending that frequency out for yourself, I've noticed in my own family shifts that have happened, and people that are super close-minded and wouldn't necessarily think in that way, but they wouldn't touch plant medicine, like not at this point in time.
Right.
But yeah, it's as if they have had plant medicine. Like Jerry says, he had a 50-year Cold War with his mom, like an energy, kind of a dodgy energy between them both. Yet when he done the medicine, he phoned her up, and it was as if she had done the medicine, because they healed, this 50-year war just through him doing the work. So this is just proof. Basically,
it's proof.
So and what was your sister saying? Did you explain? I went to Costa Rica and I done this plant medicine.
She kind of thought it was a little crazy, but it's not about me and being recognized for this work that I've done. And it's about that it just happens.
Yeah.
And this miracle happened, and the prayers that were said, and Michael Beckwith laid hands on me and prayed for her as well. Mitra, who's one of the shamans here, was praying for her.
Wow.
People literally all over the world, just from.
Oh my goodness.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And when I was talking to Mitra, one of the shamans, about what happened, and he said the exact same thing. This medicine has the power to heal your blood and your lineage and your children and future generations to come. And I truly believe that is why I came here.
Right.
And I had no I know I had chills too. All the feels. So sometimes you don't know why you're coming to Rythmia, and I definitely didn't have an idea, but when I came home, and that's when the magic really started happening, and I think that it's one thing to go and have like this amazing, and I've gone on so many different spiritual retreats where you have this like just mind-blowing experience, and then you go home and things are the same.
Yeah.
And this was actually a reverse experience where things started to expand and get way bigger and better when I got home.
Well, that's what they say here. You know, in the ceremonies here, it's 50% of the work. Mm-hmm. But the real ceremony is everyday life. 50% of the work is happening in life after here. So it's such a beautiful thing because it just never stopped. Yeah. And the medicine can come into your dreamland. She's always in you now. So it's like as soon as you've done the work, she never leaves, and you can just keep a daily practice up, and it just continues to flow. Just like you've just been explaining, you can just be met with so many different miracles beyond Rythmia. So it's a true blessing. So beautiful. Yeah. So quick recap. First visit here. Right. Sister healed from cancer, from the love of my life, and my business was booming. So everything. So obviously I want to come back, and so I came back in October with my partner. And he had never worked with the medicine before. So it was this beautiful time that we were able to become closer and get to know each other even more through this work. Sacred. It's so sacred to come with your partner. It's sacred to come separate and then come back together, because that's always like quite beautiful. And just to be that evolved together, that's so incredible that you've done that work together. And what's life beyond here like now with you both on that same level? So he is from Canada, and he moved to the U.S. He moved to Colorado to be with me. This is so special. I know. It's so good. And things have just gotten better. But what I realized was, so he's always been great. Like, he's just been amazing. But what really changed was me and my relationship with myself and being able to love myself. The most important thing. And when I did, I was able to step into this, it was like a brand new relationship. Oh. So that has been the real shift. And the more that I step into that place, it gives him permission to do the same. And I don't really call him my boyfriend because, well, first, he's not a boy, he's a man. Get it right. He's a real man. He's a man. But second of all, because it is a partnership. Yeah. And I've never been in one before where it's truly a give and receive and a support. It's really beautiful. And the magic, like you said, is because you've become who you wanted to fall in love with. You've attracted that. Yeah. Because a lot of half people are trying to find another half person to make one whole person and become codependent. And then it just doesn't work because you're just depending on that person to be whole. But when you come to a place like this, or you can just do so many different techniques to make yourself the whole person, find another whole person, and then just be super together. It's just exactly what you've done. Like, you've become what you wanted to attract. But we have to love ourselves to truly love somebody else, and you are living proof of that, which is magical. And that's what Rythmia provides, is a space where you can come and heal yourself and experience what true love is with you. And then it's just magic. Like, you just show up and that is instantly attracted to you because you're radiating that out. Yeah. So it becomes effortless. It comes effortless. Doesn't have to. You know what used to get to me is when people used to say, "Oh, it's healthy to argue in a relationship," and I've lived in a relationship where you just don't have to argue, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
So I know that doesn't have to be the case at all.
Yeah, there are things that Tinder cannot provide. You cannot just like swipe left and think you're gonna find your soulmate if you aren't your own soulmate first.
Totally, and I believe that we're actually starting some dating, Rythmia dating app of some form, I believe, down the track. So that could be a future, because there's so many epic single individuals that come here to do the work. And Jerry noticed that a lot of people were like, saying that they were single and he just wanted to do something to help. So yeah, watch this space.
Yes, it was so good. So that was my second time here. So we'll fast forward a little bit to now, and my third time, and I also think that's what's beautiful too, is like every time that I sit with a medicine, it's the first time, and everyone's like, oh, you must like not be nervous and like just know what to expect. And I'm like, I am more nervous every time I drink, because I know that it's going to be something so different every time, and I'm so much more aware of that, and I have so much more respect for the medicine. So yeah, third time here, and I really went in with the intention of just teach me what I need to know.
Yeah.
Show me what I need to see. I'm just open. I just wanted to be in communion with this beautiful plant. So first night was really intense.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was really intense. So, and always, like the last two times, my ceremonies were really light the first night, and I was like kind of just like getting to know the medicine. It was like the first time, it was like, bam, you're here, and you're in it.
Get that shit out.
Get it out.
Give you some love later.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. Back on the theme of cancer. So when I was younger, I was abused by my uncle. And it was really painful to go through, because it separated our family, and it also separated me from myself. And through a lot of the healing work that I've done with Rythmia, as well as yoga, even food has been a big part of my healing journey. And so even when I came to Rythmia, I had forgiven him. I had moved forward, and I had reconciled. But because he's in my family circle, I still do hear a lot about him and his family and what they're doing. So he has cancer right now.
Oh, okay.
So, and I know this, and it's kind of like, and I'll be totally honest, like when I heard this, my first response was karma. And I was just like, well, like what goes around comes around, and like that whole thing, even though I had forgiven him.
Yeah.
But I think that's a normal response, right? Well, for someone that's gone through that trauma. So first night with the medicine here, and the medicine brings me to him, and I was like, what am I doing here? I've already forgiven him. I've like moved past this. This isn't something that holds me in my life. And the medicine said, do you really forgive him? And I said, yes. And she says, okay, then heal his cancer.
Wow. No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure or anything. You did it with your sister.
Well, that is, giving from a pure space of, unconditional love. It's just like, even though you hurt me, hurt people. So I'm going to break that cycle, and I'm just going to heal myself by healing his pain, and it ultimately frees you and heals you.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I did. And I took a deep breath, and I said yes, and I can do this. And so I went in, and I was like pulling out his cancer, and when I was taking it out, it was coming into my own body.
Yeah. And
so instantly it spiked a purge, and I was purging this cancer that I was taking on from him. And finally, after what seemed like hours of this, I just laid on my bed, exhausted in tears, and I just said, I want him healed. I just want him to be healed, and in love. I know that he's healed. And it was just this moment of, I don't think I've ever learned how to forgive to that level,
right,
and love at that level, and my vibration raised at a place that I've never even experienced that. And it was a beautiful, it was a tough way to start.
Well, yeah, it's like, fucking go hard or go home.
Go hard or go home. You're going to do the work. Do the work. But it was also this really beautiful experience that I've had that, you know, it's like an onion, and you just like layer and layer and layer, and until you get to the core, which is just love.
Yes, that's all we are. It's just pure love, and we're here to remember that, walk each other home.
Yes.
And that's what I find so beautiful about this medicine, is that you don't have to fear death or fear any perceived bad situations that come into your life, because you know that everything is a lesson, and we're just here at school. This planet Earth is just a training ground for us to remember who we truly are. And it's, you know, things like being able to forgive the unforgivable, which is a big theme that we have here. It shifts your level of consciousness to a whole new level where you are closer to your pure state, which is divine. You know, we are all divine in nature, which is beautiful. So do you, have you spoke to him yet, or have you, you know anything about his actual healing process?
No. So my mom and my aunt still talk, right, but that's about the only interaction that our families have anymore. And
just a deep trust that it's
I'm okay with that. Yeah. And even if it wasn't on the physical level, like my sister, that I do believe that emotionally I was able to free him, and that his soul on some level was able to be healed.
You know, it gives me chills down my spine to think that we can come in with our own intentions and heal ourselves, but then ultimately we have the power to help heal other people. I've done the similar thing where I was so annoyed with all the pedophilia in the world. I was so like disgusted by it that it started to like live in me, like so angry how anyone can hurt innocent children in that way. And one of a main theme like was, you know, seeing this energy in ceremonies. And there was this one time where the whole ceiling was just like all this traumatic stuff happening to the children of the world. And I just saw that their energy come down through my mouth, like go through my whole body, sit in my belly, and then I bowled it upright and I just purged it out. And then that happened. I was like convulsing with all this energy, sat up, purged it out. And that was happening, it felt like forever. But even though that, you know, the energy is still going on, I really truly felt like I took some of that energy from the world, and it sat with me, the power that we have to be a vessel, should we choose to do so. The medicine told me that the reason why she allowed me to be the vessel and take that energy from, some of the energy from the planet, was because I was strong enough, because I was up against the whole cancer industry at the time, and because I'd healed my own cancer in the end. She said, you're strong enough, you have healed enough, and now you can help heal everybody else on a bigger, profound shift. And also because it really stuck with me that I didn't want this to be happening anymore. So just like you, it's like we have the ability to take it on. You know, once we've done our work, once we're strong, and once, you know, we accept, should we choose to accept this mission? It's beautiful.
It is, and we're coming into this time of a shift of consciousness, and we no longer need to suffer. And the ones who are woke and who have done the work can actually help facilitate this for others. And I think that, you know, especially in this time where it seems like it's so tumultuous and all of this hurt and pain that we see in the world, the best thing that we can do is heal ourselves and then open and allow the healing to wash through us. In ceremony and not in ceremony, and the power of just a smile, and
totally
bringing that to someone's day, it can change everything.
It's there's power in spoken word. You can heal with spoken word. You can heal with a hug. Here it's just such a healing frequency and vibration. As soon as you walk in here, I feel like, you know, I'm home again. I feel like I can settle, and it's just a soft, beautiful frequency of love all around, because people are leaving their energy here, but it's getting transmuted into beauty. And because this is such a center point, it's in a blue zone, so it's already got a nice healing capacity where there's more nature, more connection with nature. So just coming to where the moon told Jerry to place this epic retreat center is spot on. It's such a, you can feel the energy, can't you?
Definitely.
Yeah.
The second that you walk in, it's like this shift. And it's like the bubble. It's like the Rythmia bubble.
Yeah, the love bubble.
The love bubble. The love bubble. I love being in the love bubble.
So you had an epic first night.
So that was the first night, yeah. And really, you know, looking back on the journey over the 4 nights, it was a way to prepare me for the lessons. Like, it needed to clear this out because, you know, whether the cancer is in him, it's still because he's a part of me. It's in me. We're all one. So I had to clear that, even though it wasn't mine, to clear his cancer so that I can move forward with my journey. And so the second night was very restful. So I had a couple of visions, I had a couple of consults, but nothing really big. And I know the third night is going to be the night. Ladies' night. So take your time, rest, recharge. So I did. And it wasn't very eventful, and it's building. And I think that this is really important because I hear a lot of guests talk about how they're disappointed when they get nothing.
I know, and there's more beauty in that than they're comprehending, and that's where we get that message across.
Yeah, absolutely. And so being able to be patient, whether it's because she's shielding you from even deeper healing that's going on, or it's because you just need rest mentally, physically to prepare you for the next night, but to never be in judgment about it.
No, and also, especially in the Colombian tribe, you know, they stress that, you know, from creation, we have been in many, 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 many lives. And so if you're asleep and you feel like you got nothing, it's also a lot happening in the previous lives, like healing your lineage, your ancestors, healing all the past lives that you have been in, and then coming back to this point. And if you were to feel that energy, who knows what would happen, you know? You'd probably explode. Yeah. So it's like, she's beautiful enough, she just put you to sleep, and then next thing you know, you're woken up, and your past lives, all the trauma, the damage have healed to this point. And then beyond, that means your DNA has been healed. So from now on, it's so beautiful. So to me, it's like the gift of all gifts, and people won't really know what's loaded in that nada, that gift, for weeks, months later. Yeah. It's profound. I've seen a lot of profound shifts happening when people are like, I got nothing. And then you're like, oh yeah, you just wait. You just wait. Or like they get nothing, and then they go home and they're like, it was just weird. Like, life is just better, and everything changed, and they didn't get anything from ceremony. And the medicine knows. This is like a unique prescription by the universe. They know you inside and out. So if you need tough love, you're going to get tough love. If you need gentle love, you're going to get gentle love. If you need a mixture of both, she's going to tailor make it. She knows how many times you're going to do the medicine and exactly how it's going to reach you better. And people are always either judging or trying to make sense of like visions and things like that, when it's just surrender and just trust that Mama knows what is best. Mama knows what's best.
So that was night 2, and so moving into night 3, I was already expecting it to be, you know, a really big night, but I still wanted to come with an open heart, with the intention just to get to know the medicine more and to learn the things I need to learn. And there were so many things. There were all the things. Okay, so probably one of the most profound as far as like visuals and consults and just interaction with nature. I was laying on the hammocks, and I was talking with the trees, and I said, teach me what it's like to be a tree.
Perfect.
So the trees said, okay, and it took me into the seed. And I kind of just like rolled up in my little like ball and like became the seed, and I saw myself being planted, and I saw this everything that I needed to grow into this beautiful tree was already inside of me. And I didn't know exactly what it was yet, but I knew that good things were coming, and all I needed to do was to be nourished and to allow myself to have the rain, the wind, the sunshine, the elements.
We're provided for. Everything is here. We complicate matters so much, you know. It's like everything. We are nature.
Yes.
So that's a beautiful gift.
Yes. And then the last element, which is the element I found I have the most resistance against, is patience.
Right.
And time.
Right.
And time. And because I saw this so quickly, and I was the seed, and I was planted, and all the elements were coming in to nourish me, I'm like, okay, when do I grow? I'm ready to grow. When do I grow? And it wasn't time. So there was a lot of nothing. There was a lot of just me being present and just waiting and finding the beauty in just the waiting. So after a little bit of
like some water.
Yes, I would. Thank you.
I got gifted this by Ross from Bula Cafe in the Florida.
Ooh,
Legend. I know.
Cool. They printed the Rythmia.
Yeah, well, he's like teamed up with Rythmia, and he sends all his guests here. I mean, his staff. So every time he comes, he brings 3 of his guys here and teaches them the way. He's a legend. Thanks for the gift.
Bula. Yeah, Ross is great. So is Nicole.
Oh,
all good. All amazing. The people here are so great. Come to meet your tribe.
It's like family, isn't it?
It is. Oh. All right, so I'm a seed, being nourished, and then I start sprouting roots. And it brings me to all of these different times in my life where I was growing. And it wasn't the most beautiful times in my life. It was the time of a little bit of turbulence. And it takes that a little bit of that resistance to really root down and to be in the soil, in the muck of it.
Wow.
To grow.
Yeah.
So I start blooming. I become a little bit of I see a flower and I'm like, oh, there's a flower. I must be a white flower tree. But then on another branch, I grow a red flower.
Oh.
And then I grow a pink flower, and it was this blooming. And I was like, I've never seen this tree before. And the tree is like, that's the point. Oh. That we're all here. We're all these unique, beautiful expressions. And so it was really powerful. So I learned how to be
patient.
A tree, patient.
And how amazing that she taught you the lesson, not just with the elements, but also to add that patience in as an underlying tone to what you really need in life, and showed you through nature, through plant form. She is so magic.
Just so magic. I just don't. And I think another thing that's really important, and I've talked with a lot of people about the medicine, especially people it's their first time. And by the way, if any of you have any questions from you all, I'm more than happy to answer them and to be of service. Medicine has changed my life so much, so I'm here as a resource.
We'll tag you in the bottom.
Cool.
I'll tag her, and then you can connect and you can start the tribe early.
Yes, cool. So I love how the medicine is unique to every single person, and really all it takes is just a willingness to listen.
Yes.
And I love, I think Scott, one of the shamans here, he talks about this, about how it's a two-way relationship, and there are times to talk and there are times to listen, and to learn to listen to the medicine and not coming with a list of the agenda of these are the things.
And the thing is, she will meet the intentions, but when it's the right time, you can come in and say, I would like to heal my heart, and she's like, well, first we've got to heal this to get to that. So she knows. So that's why I say, go in with an idea of what you're after, and we give you free, like you said, 3 beautiful intentions here, and then beyond that, who am I meant to be, and all that. And then just surrender and just say, okay, I'll surrender to the medicine. Do your thing, girl.
Yes, it's the whole process. And even if you are like, well, that's not what I wanted, you may be surprised. I didn't think I'd get the lessons of patience.
No, from a seed to a
seed to a tree, the whole thing. So yes, and then the rest of the night was about connecting with my body, with my life, and then the relationships that I have with others.
Yes.
And it's the simplicity in life is where all the good stuff is.
Yes.
And relationships are actually can be very complicated if we let them.
If we make them, everything's a choice.
It's a choice. Or you can just love and be loved.
Yeah.
And I myself had a lot of judgments about people in my life, and like, I'm a coach and I'm growth mindset and I'm spiritual, and I have this whole identity that I've created for myself that it can almost cause a separation between others that I don't see those characteristics in.
Yes.
And I am separating myself from the love that I'm giving and also the love I can receive. And so the medicine showed me how there are friends and family in my life that I take for granted. And I was just crying with tears of gratitude for these beautiful people. And I the next day I spent like at least 2 hours sending people messages and just reaching out to them and telling them how much they meant to me. And it was a really beautiful
That's
experience.
so beautiful. I know I had a love-hate relationship with my mom at one stage, and we just weren't talking. And the medicine, I just thought, that's it, never talking to her again, that's it, I can't be bothered. And then in the medicine just came in and she just whooped my ass. And she was like, that woman brought you into the world. And I was like, yeah, but, and she's like, no, quit the bullshit story. It's like, you've got to be who you want her to be in yourself.
Yeah.
So I just started seeing like me in her womb, and like her carrying me, and her painting Care Bears on my wall and doing my hair and all these things that I'd forgotten in the shit story that I had told myself that she was this, she was that. And she wasn't. She was just, doing her thing, and I didn't understand. That's all it was. So then in ceremony, I was like, I've got to message her now, I've got to do it. But, they take your phones just in case you do that, which is good. And then the next morning, I just reached out and I was like, Mum, I'm really sorry. I love you. Thank you for giving birth to me. And I realized that if you weren't the mum that I wanted, then I would never be who I am now. And I love who I am now. So everything that you've done for me and the way you are is perfect. Because I've traveled the world, I'm enjoying life to the fullest. And so it's all absolutely perfect, and I love you, and I'm sorry. And we had a good cry, and I was like, thanks for painting Care Bears on my wall. I fucking love the Care Bears. And it was magic. But that's what the medicine showed me. And she comes in, and you get so many people here saying, oh, I couldn't forgive this person, I couldn't forgive that person. Like you with your stories, it's like, but then she shows you that to truly forgive is to truly forgive the unforgivable in yourself.
Yes.
And that's what I find magic. Like, for me to just break any pattern in my brain of disliking anybody. I've forgiven so many, what I would have said were assholes in my time, that I feel so great now. Because I'm like, I've freed myself on a whole new level, and not holding on to, that person done that to me. It's more like, okay.
It's okay. It's okay. And there's an emotional strength that you build through that. And then you can be given bigger things in your life and bigger relationships.
You make room, you make space. You're given free rent to heavy energy, and then once you're free, it's like purging here.
Yeah.
So you've got so much space. So whoa, I can fill that with good stuff, more love. Going traveling, whatever you need to do, it's like creates abundant space and expansion within. Ooh.
I love it.
So fourth night.
Yeah, hey. Okay, so the yahe. So the last 2 times I've been here, the yahe and I just don't really get along. I shouldn't say that. I should just say it's like,
it's tough love.
It's tough love. And it's tough on my body. Yeah. And so I know this, but also, the power of visualization and what you see and what you think you create. So I'm trying to let go of this idea that it's going to be rough on my body. I get into ceremony. It was all, I was like, this is going to be great. This is going to be fun. I'm not going to purge. It's going to be fun. And it was the roughest. After one cup, I am violently sick, and all of the orifices are
I was with you, girl.
lit up. It was not pretty. There was this really precious moment where Scott, one of the shamans, came to me, and he did all the things. They do a lot of healing things that help soothe the purging process, and he said, just cultivate the sickness.
Yes, I love it when he says that.
Right?
He's like, go into the nausea.
Go into it.
Ask it what it is.
Go
Brew it up.
into it. Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I know.
Usually, like he says as well, he's like, we're usually taking a pill or we're trying to avoid the nausea.
Mm-hmm.
But whereas here, like Scotty was the first one to say that to me as well. He's like, go into it, cultivate the nausea, go in and ask it what it is, brew it up, and then it will come to the surface, and then there you go.
Yeah. And when I was going through this process, I found that I became a larger space for it. That the sickness, like, it was like fighting me before, and now all of a sudden I became this space for it, and I was strong enough to carry it. So there's this beautiful Colombian tradition where they go through and they do a healing, and so I was very, very sick still. But I was working on being this space for it, and unlike the other 3 nights, I had 0 visions, I had 0 consults. Like, this was literally just the worst sickness, and that was it. And so I'm sitting in the circle, and we're going through the healing, and something happened, something shifted, where I felt my body becoming new.
Oh, wow.
It was almost like a rebirth.
Yes.
But I didn't know how to interpret it because it wasn't here. It wasn't in my consciousness that was happening. It was literally in my body.
Wow, yep.
And so I'm sitting in the circle, and we're going through the healing, and my body is literally changing and transforming. And I feel like this rebirth happening, but it's not in my mind, it's literally in my body. And it was this incredible experience. So afterward, I went up to Mitra, who's the Colombian shaman that's leading the ceremony, and I told him what happened. And he said, in my garden, sometimes I have to go to the flower and I have to pluck the flower to allow for another flower to grow.
How beautiful.
And it was just the perfect analogy.
Yeah, he's so good with words. Yeah, he explains things in such a beautiful way. He's so connected.
Yes.
Yeah.
He really is. And it made sense in that moment. And for me, it was one of the most powerful experiences I had with the medicine, and there was no visions, no consults. It was literally something I was experiencing through my body that was a really painful, big thing that I would have missed if I was in judgment for it.
Right, exactly. And you have to go through the pain to appreciate the other side, which is why perceived bad days, are not that at all. Everything leads to the right spot. To appreciate the light, you have to know the dark.
Right.
And I personally find Yahweh very physically healing. I mean, I start to get visions now on it, which is beautiful, but it's always very physical. I'm definitely in cleanse mode.
Yeah. all the cleansing.
Yeah, all the
ways.
But it's beautiful because it's like a celestial party. So, starting at 8, finishing at 8 in the morning, and just live music, deep healing, and the healings that they do give. And you're mentioning, it's like a spiritual car wash.
Yeah.
There's so many people in like a semicircle, and they're going around with all the different tools, and everyone's getting healed, and it's a very, very, very magical experience. If you've not had it yet, definitely get yourself here for the Thursdays. And the lead up, the way we do it is the Monday, the Tuesday, the Wednesday, they're all leading up to the Thursday, and it all is beautifully orchestrated. You start with the breath work, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, plant medicine, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, breath work again, and then throughout the days there's different courses and workshops to help you integrate it. The program is so beautifully orchestrated that it just works. It just, Jerry's a numbers man, so he takes statistics for everything. And the way that this is designed has been proven to work absolutely in your favor for the optimum healing. Definitely.
Every time. And it continues to build. So I think that too, for people who haven't been here, I mean, like, just do it. Just do it. But for people that have been here, also to come back, because even if you got your miracle, there are deeper levels of understanding, and you gotta like dust off a little bit.
That's exactly what Jerry said. It's so easy to get dust on us again, just through the lie of the lie. You know, like Jerry likes to say that his ex-wife used to call him, and they were married at the time, and he'd be at a bar, and she'd be like, "Where are you?" And then he would say, "Oh, I'm in traffic." And then she'd be like, "Okay," and then that would be conversation over. But it wouldn't be that lie that would get him dusty. It would be the lie of the lie that he would tell himself, like, "Oh, she deserved that because of such and such." So it's basically the lie that you're telling your soul and yourself about why someone deserved that or why that happened. And it's so easy to do that. You know, we just get back into conditioned states, and then it's time to brush up. You know, then it's like, okay, you know, I'm getting to that point, I need a little bit more dusting off, and I'm lucky because I get to dust off like 3-4 times a week. But it's still easy to get dusty. It just happens like that. And the medicine, the moon, actually told Jerry that you can come and do the soul mergence, get a new heart 9 times. You know, you can come back and do that, but you can come back beyond that and just keep reliving and keep healing. There's always room for improvement, like absolutely always. So what would you say to somebody that was on the fence about coming, that hadn't been here yet? Would you give them any words of wisdom?
Yes. Ask your heart.
Ah, yes, that's beautiful.
And sit with it, because people that are on the fence about going, there's some lie that's keeping them back.
Yes.
And because there's some people that this isn't meant for, you know, like not. So I actually asked the medicine one time, who is the medicine for, and the medicine said all people.
Oh.
So, but not all people will drink.
No.
So the people that aren't going to come are just not going to come, but they're not going to want to come. So they already separated themselves out. So if you're on the fence and it's like even like a maybe or I want to, but like da 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 and all the lists, it's a lie, and it's a separation of ego.
Yeah.
And so sit and close your eyes and put your hands on your heart and just breathe into your heart and ask your heart, should I go? And listen to what comes up. And I haven't told someone this that's done it and the answer has been no. Because if we get to this part where they're like, well, I want to go, but it's so expensive, or I can't take the time off from work, or
lots of different reasons.
Whatever it is.
And it's so funny, I say this to people in yoga, it's like we have everything within us to heal, to answer questions. And we're so busy going externally for happiness and asking somebody else, should we be doing that? Or somebody else's belief, conditioned states to guide us through life, which is why there's such a disconnect, because we're not actually living from our own personal roadmap. But if we were to go inside and meditate and just sit with ourselves and ask the right questions, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. And you can answer inside. Your spirit, your heart knows what is right for you. So just like what you said, it's just tapping in and really asking yourself, not your mom, your hairdresser, a review. Just go inside. Don't complicate matters. Just go simply to you. We're on the note of healing. Like, we are so powerful beyond belief, and our power has been taken away. You know, a pill for every ill, and saying you fixed me. You know, I don't know how, but we do. We truly, truly do. Once we trust in the power that we have, and once we connect in with nature, meditate, take plant medicine, open that door, and let nature help us. It's just. We can have such profound shifts just by trusting, surrendering, and going with the flow. So, anything else you want to share about the Rythmia experience, yoga, food? Like, what has the whole week been for you as a roundup?
Well, your yoga class this morning was great.
Thanks, babe. I tried.
It was so good. Okay, and this is coming from a yoga teacher.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, girl.
It was really good. And what I liked particularly is the integration that you provided, where it's taking the lessons that you learn in ceremony and the talks throughout the week, and in bringing them into your body.
Oh, totally. It's like yoga therapy.
Yes,
yeah.
It's yoga
with
therapy.
a lot of love. I'm like giving a lot of love, and
Oh,
it's just,
love.
yeah. Thank you, babe. I'm just to know you're a yoga teacher.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes,
Thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
And yeah, I love it. I absolutely love doing it.
Yeah.
So what about the food?
The food. Oh, wow.
I know.
So I know. So I am a huge foodie. I was a health coach for a while, and Maggot, who's the chef here at Rythmia, is like my food goddess. I love her, and I love her food, and literally I would come to Rythmia just for the food.
Oh, yeah.
I actually wrote a cookbook like 6 months ago, and Maggot helped me a little bit with that.
I love her. Meg, we love you.
We love you, Meg. And so just in her heart, she has such a servant's heart and just a heart of love, and that is poured into the food, as well as it just.
You can taste the love
amazing.
for sure.
Yes. And it's just delicious. So I would come here just for the food, and multiple people have said that. So the food, amazing. Yoga, amazing integration.
Breath work.
Breath work is transformational.
Yes,
for sure.
And cheap and free.
And cheap and free.
We can do it whenever.
Yes.
So it's so amazing.
Yeah, the power of our breath and being able to be in our body and have the power to heal just from oxygen.
Well, we're made up of energy channels with 72,000 nadis, which is energy channels. We're tubular beings. And, you know, Western medicine puts fancy Latin names on things, and predominantly most of it is just a blocked tube, whether it's dis-ease, emotional blockages, and breath, obviously, is pranic life force. So it's all around us in abundance. And when we're breathing that in and doing the 100 breaths, which they teach here, you just are clearing these channels. And I'll tell you my own personal journey with breath work. The first time I ever done it, because I came here as a guest 2 years ago, was so profound and scary and everything at the same time, because it took me back to a place of trauma that I had experienced years previously. Having had my thyroid removed, the surgeon accidentally took out my parathyroids, which regulate calcium in the body, and every muscle needs calcium in the body. So in hospital, my body started locking up, and I'm like literally my whole body, I couldn't move any muscle, and my heart, it felt like it was like coming out of my chest, and they thought I was going to have a heart attack. And I'm screaming to the nurses, I'm dying, and they're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, what's wrong? And they're like, we don't know. And I'm like, well, fuck, this feels like I'm dying, so I don't know if you've got any better options, but I've never felt like this before. And then they came back with my blood results. They said, your calcium is extremely low, so they like poured like liquid calcium into my mouth, and I was like, trying to like maneuver it down the throat. And then after a while, they started to unprise my fingers, and the body went back to normal. And there's me just still like, I thought it was it. I went to speak to my family, and I was like, I seriously thought I was gonna just die. I've never been so scared in my life. So I've been walking around with the fear of that, because they said, right, you've now got to take calcium tablets for the rest of your life, because your body cannot regulate, or, you know, it just can't, if you're missing that function. So then I was like, okay, thanks for that. So what if that happens again? They were like, well, you just have to basically carry calcium with you forever, and tell somebody as good as you can. It's not going to be walking down the street, just drop and give somebody like, you know, my best look ever. And I was living with that fear. And so when I came here, I had no idea. I was like, breath work, breathing. Oh, okay.
I breathe every day.
Natural breather here. And then I just started doing the breath, and I started noticing my hands started to lock up, and I started panicking. I'm like screaming for Nicole, who's an absolute godsend. And I'm crying, and I'm like, this is what happened to me before. This is going to happen again. I think my calcium's going down. I need to get calcium tablets. She's like, no, honey, you don't. It's trauma in your body that's coming out. And I was like, no, I'm fucking dying. And then she rolled me on my belly, and like I started to tone and get the energy out. And then my whole body locked up, and the whole of my body got that experience. And then I could no longer like tone. And then to the point where I was just breathing, and then she was tapping me and saying, it's okay to feel afraid. It's okay, you know, tapping me in all these parts of my body. And then I just had this release. Tears came out, and I'm even fucking getting goosebumps now thinking about it, because it totally trauma stores in the body. So it totally released that trauma, allowed my body to go through that because it's stuck there, to release it. And I've been doing breath work ever since, and I've never gone through that shift again because I didn't need to, because it left. And so now I don't walk around with the fear that I'm going to drop and be a solid statue for people to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So that's a big fear that I got over, and that changed my world. Wow. So breath work is powerful. We do that on weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And this week coming actually is actually a whole week dedicated to breath work, because we realized that a lot of people didn't want to do plant medicine for various health reasons or such and such, just different reasons. And so Jerry said, okay, at the third week of every month, let's just do breath work. And that's what we're going into next week. So if plant medicine isn't calling you, come for a breathwork week. It's just as powerful. We have people who see in Technicolor, just like you do on the ayahuasca, profound trauma healing. I can't big it up enough.
Yeah. It's so, and you take it back with you.
Yes.
It's a tool that you can use then every day.
Yes.
Oh, so good. So breathwork, yoga, massages, cleanses. Oh, okay. So not to get gross.
Not that we've got.
But there was a lot of shit that came out.
Yeah. We carry a lot of stuff.
We do. And like even that is so purposefully placed in the healing experience.
Yeah.
And it really helps your body, because your digestion and your digestive tract is where your brain lives,
and it's where most diseases
start. It's the center. It's
second
the
brain.
Core. Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. And so taking good care of that through the cleanses, through the food, is really essential.
And I love that with the cleanses, because I have a lot of cleanses all over the world, and they put chlorophyll back in you in this one, which is beautiful, you know. It's like just to get some good vitamins, minerals, everything back into you through the pure, source, so it goes straight into the blood.
Yeah. Through the plants and returning you back to nature.
Well, chlorophyll is liquid blood, it's plant blood. So it's like cleansing yourself with the purest form of nature's blood.
Yeah.
Up the arse. Perfect.
Yes. Sorry guys. It was good, yeah.
So all in all, you had a beautiful experience.
All of it.
And you're such a pleasure to be around, honey. I just want to honor you and thank you so much, because you're so articulate in the way you come across. And I know that everyone's going to get so much out of this. I've got so much out of this. It's,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're beautiful woman. Are you going to bring your partner back here again? So you can get married by Mitra.
Yes, we'll do that. That's what we're going to do.
We do weddings on Thursdays, guys. If you want to get married by Mitra, it's a beautiful Colombian ceremony, and it's so sacred and just so very, very special. So I'll have a little check, see if there's any questions, and I can answer some after. It doesn't show me all the questions. Don't know what that says. Happy spiritual people. Yay, Sarah, we love you. We are a bit happy, sorry.
Spiritual people are happy people.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy people are spiritual
That's
people.
what Jerry says. So show me a happy person and I'll show you a spiritual person. I spoke with my sister deceased 30 years ago on plant medicine. It was so beautiful. Oh, Nancy, that's so beautiful. Yeah, you can connect in. It's just going into the astral plane. And my sister came to me and spoke earlier and told me where she was. Oh, see, that's so beautiful. Natasha, hi from London. Very interesting. Would love to come experience this place. Yes, get here, honey. Bring some of that London energy. I need some London energy. I love the London banter. Okay. Let's have a little look. All illnesses, yes. All illnesses are spiritual, not physical. Very, very good. Cleansing our consciousness. God, we've got so many tapped in people here. Melody, I'm very interested in hearing more about how women are curing cancer without chemotherapy. These claims are fascinating and I need to know more. Well, I can share lots with you. If you go to crispycancer.com and also Radical Remissions, I think it's .com, so many people are healing themselves through nature alone, because we are nature and we complicate things. You know, the body only understands simplicity. And even when you have like a vegan protein powder, which is, 100 different amazing ingredients, the body still doesn't know what it's doing with it. It's just a load of different things that it doesn't understand in its purest form. Whereas if you give it a whole apple, we don't even know the true degree of what is in an apple. We know that it's got a few, vitamins and minerals, but we don't know like the full capacity. But it's nature, and the body knows how to break it down. It's got all the right enzymes in it. It's just, we've complicated matters so much. The body just wants to heal in a simple and natural form. So I'll connect with you after, Melody, if you want, and we can chat. Oh, Andre, thanks to my son Laurent, who is the film director. No, did you say he's filmed? Oh, fabulous. So is he the film director?
I think that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That was pretty epic. It's pretty epic. The Healing Circle is so incredible on Thursday. Yes, hey Kimberly. Yes, it's like being reborn again. Oh, thanks, Leslie. I love you. Legend. Beautiful experience. Thank you so much. This talk was wonderful. Oh, you're so welcome, Julia. Great. I should bring London. Yeah, bring the London banter. Perfect. Okay, so please feel free to share this video. I know our Facebook's got some algorithms that it just doesn't get to everybody. So share this with loved ones, share it with Facebook, and just get the message out there. The body wants to heal if given the right conditions and the right environments. And here true healing happens. It's the ancient wisdom merging with the modern technologies, and everything the program here offers is just designed for you to heal it in a loving and healing way. So thank you so much. Get Shit the Moon said if you haven't already. Anything else you'd like to share?
I'll leave you with one thought. And this is actually one of the beautiful angels here at Rythmia shared this with me, and it's been on my mind the last couple of days of, you can have your story or you can have your life. You can't have both.
Oh.
So you choose which one you want to live. Do you want to live someone else's story for you, or do you want to live your true one life? And how you show up every day is just, it's a reflection of that. So choose your life. Let go of the story.
I choose life.
I choose life. Come to Rythmia.
That's so beautiful. Mm-hmm. And on that note, try not to attach to labels. We're so busy judging our experiences and attaching a good and a bad label to things. People would perceive getting cancer to be bad. And to me, it's a gift. I was killing myself anyway, drink, drugs, the London party lifestyle. And to me, it was a gift. And when one door shuts, another door opens. So just trusting that everything is perfect for you. And think about a relationship that you once wished you had their babies and you moved in together and you're quite glad that didn't happen now. It's the same thing. It's like just not judging the process, not judging your situation, not attaching a label to anything. Everything is perfect if you just choose to see it that way and see it as a gift. And when I have a perceived bad day or something happens to me that I'm like, why me? I'm like, every single thing that's happened to me where I felt like this, I've always looked back and been like, that had to happen for this to happen. So just trust the divine energy, trust the flow. Come to Rythmia and hug us and get to know the Rythmia way and live life that you deserve. Live the life that you deserve. We love you so much. If you have any more questions, please feel free to put them in the notes, and you can tag myself in here if you want to connect. And just live a beautiful life. Thank you for tuning in, guys.
Bye.